Hello, guys and gals, and this is week 30, episode 33 of our vlog series, or my vlog series. I don't know why I keep saying our. It's just me. Anyway, so this is Vlog Friday, and episode 33 of it. As always, we will be starting with something off topic, or maybe something on topic that is apart from our usual 7 points that we always go over in a slightly different way each time. And I go over those because they're really important. And it's really good to get the point across. And if you want to get a point across, you have to say it a lot. That's basically why nursery rhymes or children's songs basically repeat lines in series of 3. It isn't a nursery rhyme, but in the song from Repo, the genetic opera, Zydrate, whatever it's called. It goes, Zydrate comes in a little glass vial, a little glass vial, a little glass vial. And it's basically to get a point across. Repetition is basically a sure way to get information into a person's brain, especially, kids, because they're really impressionable, which is basically why you don't really want to swear around children and stuff like that. Of course, people do anyways, of course, but that wasn't the way I was raised. But anyways, and it's also how children learn basically what's called learned behavior. And and then people wonder, well, why do kids do this? Or why do kids act this way? It's basically because, impressions and stuff like that. Anyways, it's all psychology, really. And it's basically why, children's songs, repeat a lot. And it's basically to, instill the information into a child's mind. Anyways, and that can be a good thing especially if you want to teach your children like sign language. I mean, children learn a lot faster than adults do to a certain extent. It's why basically a 4-year-old can basically use a computer and surf the internet better than someone who's like 60 or 70, because they imprint on technology and stuff like that, which is good if you're teaching them good things. If you're not teaching them the good things, then it isn't exactly really all that good. But anyways, let's talk about, I wish I had thought this out a little bit more thoroughly, actually. We already talked about intent in a previous go around. After thinking very carefully, I have decided on what I wish to discuss right now for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Won't be very long. I don't really like for these vlogs to get like 12 or 15 minutes because it takes forever to upload them. Since I'm not using the little icon there, the camera. If I use that program, then basically it only takes less than a minute to upload a 30-minute video. Where it used to take like 30 minutes. So yeah. Anyways, but this isn't about that. We're going to talk about a rather controversial topic here. And that is forgiveness. Why would I talk about forgiveness? Well, I'm glad you asked. And you probably didn't ask. I'm just imagining it all probably. But anyways, forgiveness is not something that you really hear much about these days. Or at least, I mean, most of the movies deal with revenge, like in the, is it Death Wish? The one that had the, Pierce Brosnan, or whatever his name is. I think that was the Death Wish series. And then there's always like, I Spit on Your Grave, that, and a bunch of movies that deal with revenge. There aren't really very many movies that really deal with forgiveness, and it's probably because, in all actuality, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but forgiveness can be kind of boring, actually, because, it's like, you forgive somebody, and then that just doesn't really make for riveting movie action, I mean, you're more likely to watch a movie where Pierce Brosnan goes and seeks revenge because some hooligans or thugs killed his family or something. You're not going to be sitting around a movie watching Pierce Brosnan forgive the thugs for killing his family, because it's kind of against human nature to forgive. And that's kind of the point of human nature, is that there's a lot of parts of human nature that are counter to some worldviews, because it's rare to have or this day and age to really find any riveting story of forgiveness. It's not going to be like any of those Hollywood blockbusters. But anyways, and given the reference to the time period that is now, the Angelina Jolie movie, Those That Wish Me Dead, or something like that, that looks like that's like a revenge movie too, even though I don't really know much about it. But that's just kind of the time period. For those of you in the future who are watching this, like, hey, when did this happen, and what was hot or what was popular during this time? Anyways, forgiveness is really, if you think about it, would seem kind of boring in the grand scheme of things, but it's super important. As we talked about in other ones, it's easy to, get upset with people, like if they cut you off in traffic and stuff like that. And it might be something that completely slips their mind, and because they were, in their own little world, and they didn't realize they cut you off in traffic and stuff like that. So it's usually best to, forgive such infractions. Is that the right word? Such things, we'll say. Anyways, still, it can't be. It's not easy to actually forgive, because as humans, we tend to remember things. And usually the better a person's memory, then the less likely they are to forgive. And sometimes it can turn into like the grudge. And that's kind of destructive. Grudges are destructive. And you may be mad at somebody and they might not even know it, that they did anything wrong. And basically, a lack of forgiveness is basically like drinking poison and wishing or hoping that the other person dies, because the only thing that not forgiving someone does is it hurts you. And that is it's really a different way to look at things, really. Because you can be really mad at somebody and have a grudge, and it won't hurt them at all. It's only going to hurt you and shorten your own life. So that's just something to consider. But let's talk a little bit about depression, because this day and age, depression is basically very, very common these days. And one way to counteract or help cope with the symptoms of depression is to do something you enjoy at least once a day. Make sure it's something legal. I'm not going to be endorsing something illegal, because I don't hate myself. Anyways, so you also have to do something within your dietary wheelhouse. I mean, I'm not asking diabetics to eat cake or anything like that. Let them eat cake, said Marie Antoinette before her head landed in a basket after they put her under the guillotine. Anyways, where'd that come from? I don't know. Anyways, also, you always need to be wary of your medical situations, and you want to make sure and keep everything, you want to do what's mentally and what you're supposed to do. Not endangering your health by eating things you shouldn't. That goes also for taking medication. You should always take medication over the counter, and not be taking it illegally, or taking medication you shouldn't take, or you shouldn't self-diagnose and self-medicate. But anyways, this does only work for the symptoms of depression. It's not going to make the depression go away. I mean, but if you pamper yourself a little bit, pamper as in treat yourself nice, not, like wear diapers or anything. Anyways, that's a whole other fetish thing that I don't have. Anyways, if my voice is sounding a little bit ragged, it's because I've been recording for over 3 hours getting the videos done for today. I still haven't got through my head to basically spread the videos out over a week so I don't have to put it off and do all the videos in one day. Anyways, so doing 11 or 12 videos in one day is strenuous. Anyways, but I love doing it. So anyways, long story short, treat yourself to something nice and to help distract you from your depression. Number 2 is there's always someone who cares, and that is always something to remember. There's, with all the social platforms, you can have like millions of followers, and you can still feel alone and still feel like nobody cares because society seems to be impersonal for the most part, and it can really seem sometimes like nobody cares or you wouldn't be missed if you decide to take the bad way out, which I'm not condoning. In fact, that depresses me a lot to hear that a lot of people commit suicide because there's really no need for that. You should always remember that there's always someone who cares, whether it be a family pastor, your parents, your children, a friend. There's always someone who cares. And that can make all the difference sometimes because it does. Anyways, number 3 is if you are suffering from an affliction, there's no shame in seeking help. And there used to be a lot of stigma attached with mental illness. And thankfully there isn't now, or not quite as much, because we now realize that mental illness isn't like demons or anything like that. Like in the Middle Ages, where there would be exorcisms for people who had mental illnesses and really couldn't control themselves. Someone with cerebral palsy would probably be like burnt at the stake for being a witch or something back in the old days because they didn't understand that there was something that they couldn't help. And also the whole witch trials thing in Salem was because people ate infected grain and started seeing hallucinations and stuff. It was crazy. Something called an ergo or something. It's real, people. Look it up sometime. But anyways, there really honestly probably wasn't a single actual witch that was burnt in the Salem witch trials. It was just basically people eating infected grain and causing mass hysteria. Anyways, but yeah, there's not quite as much of a stigma because people realize that people can't really help their mental illness. And so yeah, there is medication for depression, but if you can basically handle your depression without it, then hey, that's good. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I admire you for that. I'm just pointing out that there are people out there who can't, and probably should take medication. But anyways, there are some medical situations like bipolar and paranoid schizophrenia where you actually have to take medication in order to cope. Otherwise, things get kind of dicey. But anyways, so take medication if you have trouble coping, and make sure it's over-the-counter stuff and not like bought off the street corner or something. Anyways, number 4 is no matter how bad things get, there is always hope, and this is sometimes hard to see, especially if your situation is especially bad. But regardless of how bad the situation is, there is always hope, and there is always a way out, and not the bad way. There's always a good way out of a situation. You just need to discuss it with a trusted individual, and then you can maybe find a way out, hopefully. And there's always hope. That's one thing that there's always sure. There's always hope, and you need to embrace that hope. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Anyway, 5 is societal labels and tags are pointless. People are people, and it is easy this day and age to give someone a label and then forget about them, and maybe give them an unfair label, and maybe give them a label that makes them appear to be less human. But in truth, everyone, regardless of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, their creed, their religion, did I say religion already? Regardless of what someone believes or how different someone is, a person is a person, and you really need to take that into account. And giving somebody a label just basically subjugates them and puts them into a box they don't really belong in. And so yeah. Number 6 is to be yourself. There will never be another you, and that's important that you stay an individual. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel, then hey, do your own content. It's okay to I know of at least 3 different YouTubers that play 3 random games, but they're all different and unique. I know that even Markiplier and Jacksepticeye basically have covered the same 3 random games in the same, well, in the same episode, except, posted different places and with different views, different perspectives. They're unique. I know 8-Bit Ryan also does the three random games, and I think Yeb probably does the three random games as well. But they're all unique and also awesome because they all have unique perspectives. So, I mean, it's good that people are embracing their individuality. It's wonderful, actually. And so basically embrace who you are, and people will also embrace you as well because you're being yourself and not trying to be someone you're not. Anyways, number 7 is always think positive thoughts, and I don't mean the sarcastic, oh, I'm positive this is going to be a bad day. No, I'm talking about the actual positive thoughts of, basic improving yourself by thinking positive. And basically, thinking positive thoughts, it has been proven by several medical studies that it increases your life, increases your disposition to think positive thoughts. And basically, overall, makes you a happier person. It has health benefits, reduced stress, and basically a longer life in general if you think positive thoughts and have a positive disposition in life. But yeah, plus life is more fun if you're not being negative all the time. Anyways, we are to the end, I think, and wow, we went over 15 minutes. Wow, okay, these vlogs are getting to be very long, but totally worth it. If this helped at least one person, then that's my goal. I mean, I make these videos because I enjoy making these videos, and hopefully they make at least a little difference in somebody's life. If they do, it is done through me. It isn't by my own effort that I do this. I try to channel kindness and stuff like that through all of this, through these videos, trying to basically improve people's quality of life. Anyways, I don't do these to bring about any kind of popularity on my part, just trying to do my part in making the world a slightly better place and probably doing a terrible job of it. But anyways, I am trying. Anyways, if you like this content, and if it helped you in any way, then make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. Also, if you want to support me in any way, then all that information will be in the description below, along with a link to the Discord server, and you can join that if you want to. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.